daily program, and every day we are meeting here and hearing about one of the qualities of Krishna, and then we are taking the Braja Parikrama. We are visiting one of the spots in Vrindavan, and also we are chanting this Damodar Ashtakam and offering lamps to the Lord. So this is a really very auspicious program, and today we have His Grace Raghavendu Ram Prabhu, who will be presenting about one of the qualities of Krishna. So let's hear from him. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, audible, okay?
Voice is little breaking, Prabhu.
Breaking?
Yeah, and your video is also still.
Video is okay. Let me see.
Your bandwidth is very low, I think, Prabhu. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. And Prabhu, you can try without your video. That will work out better, I think. Hare Krishna. I think maybe we have lost the connection, and he may come back in some time. Okay. So we have anyway, like I was yesterday, we were discussing about the quality of Krishna, of the most attractive bodily features, right? So till the time Raghavendra Prabhu comes, like we will have some discussion on this aspect. We can continue a little more on that. So as we were mentioning that even if we are not able to have the direct version of Krishna, still, there is a good opportunity for us to get attracted to the features of Krishna. How is it possible? It is possible because we have references where Rukmini Devi, she was hearing about Krishna right from her childhood from different sadhus, and she was like very, very attracted to Krishna in that way. And there are a set of devotees, like the wives of the brahmanas who used to perform various yajnas, right? And so they were residing in Mathura, and they were attracted to Krishna's form. And how did they get attracted to Krishna form? So when did they see Krishna? So because they have never seen, but devotees from Vrindavan used to come, and they used to chant about Krishna's glories. And by hearing that, so they become very, very attracted. And then they developed eagerness to meet Krishna. And Krishna also gave them opportunity to have darshan. So in this way, we become attracted to Krishna by hearing about him. So then Krishna will give us an opportunity to have direct darshan, right? Raghavendra Prabhu, you are there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji. I have connected through my mobile now.
Okay, this is better. This is nice. You
okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Sorry for the delay and technical glitch to begin with. With this invocation prayer, we'll continue.
Yes.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namhe Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Achatya Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, today we are going to speak or discuss about the fifth transcendental quality of Lord Sri Krishna. And out of these 64 qualities that are mentioned by Rupa Goswami, the fifth quality is Baliyan. Okay, so as it says, Baliyan is strong. He's the strongest. And in Bhagavad Gita also, we see similar kind of a reference where Krishna himself says, Balam Balavatan Chaham. So he's the strongest of the strong, of the strongest people. He's the strength of the strongest people. And so we also hear from Parasara Muni's definition, there also one of the vibhutis is Viryasya, Viryam, the strength, the power of the Bhagavan. And Sri Krishna himself again, Brahma Samhita, Krishna, Lord Brahma says, Isvara Parama Krishna, he is the supreme controller. So being a supreme controller, he will be possessing, or he is possessing all that greatest strength. And Krishna again says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. So everything is emanating from me, right? And it includes all the spiritual planets and material planets. So all the spiritual planets and material. And one of the first expansion of Lord Sri Krishna himself is Lord Balram. So as the Lord Balram, the name itself again signifies the strength, the immense strength Lord Balram possesses. And Bhagavatam also gives further detail on that Lord Balram is the first expansion, and also he is the cause of all spiritual and material planets. And together, Lord Balram and Krishna have performed so many immense pastimes in their Bhaumya Vrindavana Leela. And also these pastimes are eternally going on in Goloka Vrindavana. So from these pastimes, we have seen what Lord Balram and Lord Krishna have exhibited, the kind of immense the pastimes with the strength, involving strength or power is displayed in these pastimes. And from the very the moment he has taken birth while he was a few months old, that time itself we know the Putana story, where Lord Sri Krishna, just with the power of sucking, he pulled off the life hair of the Putana. And we also know the famous Govardhana pastime, where Krishna lifts on his little finger the Govardhana hill for 7 days. And we also know from Lord Balram's pastimes too, where with just a punch of his with his fist, he had thrown away the the Dhenukasura miles and miles away, or either even with a push, with a punch, even Dhenukasura was lifted onto the top of the palm trees, right? And we also know from Krishna, from Bhagavatam, with just a simple glance, the whole manifestation has come into existence. So the Pradhana, which was in unmanifested state, it all come into existence just with a glance. So that is the power of his glance. And also is a power of his playing the flute. So the moment he plays the flute, the gopis are attracted to his the sound vibrations of the flute, right? So Bhagavatam also says that, so that attraction is such that just like a magnet attracts the iron particles or iron. So helplessly the gopis, the gopas are attracted to the attracting power of Krishna. So like this, there are several pastimes where they have Krishna and Balaram have exhibited their power of attracting the souls, and also at the same time with us the strength and power, they have annihilated so many demons, right? So again, from Srila Prabhupada's, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam too. So there are so many places where Krishna, it is explained that jivas are, by their constitutional positions, they are under the control of the Daivi Prakriti. Okay. But once the jivas have a tendency to lord over the, or have a tendency to enjoy on their own, independent of Krishna, they'll be put under the shelter of Maya, so material energy, right? And we have seen several demons. Now, one of the famous story that we hear is, say, Lord Nrsimhadev's, the pastime wherein Hiranyakashipu, he was such a great, the powerful demon, and he did so many tapasya, so many years of tapasya, and so with that, the power and the benedictions what he received, he misutilized them, and he tried to control over the whole, the creation, saying that he's the controller. And so the moment this kind of a tendency prompts in, Krishna will give you a nice lesson or teach a nice lesson, taking away and smashing that pride. And we also see some pastimes where, say, in Hanuman. So Hanuman, of course, he's a devotee of Krishna, a devotee of Lord Ram. But in the beginning of the childhood pastimes, we hear that he was very, very mischievous, very, very naughty, and he's so much, troublesome and a troublemaker, giving so much of trouble to the sages who are there in the forest and doing their, austerities and doing their tapasya and all that. He used to give them so much trouble. He was having the immense strength because of the benedictions given by the demigods. But the power that was bestowed on him, to him, was not put in the service of Lord Rama or Lord Krishna. So what happened was, he was cursed, saying that you will forget all your power, all your strength, until someone reminds you. And it so happens after several years, when during that Vanavasa time, when Lord Rama comes to Kishkinda, so that time Jambavan, he reminds the immense strength that Lord Hanuman possesses, and he was able to regain the original consciousness, right? And we also hear from Nalagruva and Manigriva and Nalaguvera, the pastime in Damodar Leela too, where they too were bestowed with so much of immense opulence, power. But that power was, that immense the opulence that was given, it was misutilized, and they were cursed to be like, the trees in the courtyard of Lord Krishna. So this is one of the great lessons. So if we do not use the power that is bestowed onto us for the right use, Krishna, with his immense supreme power, will crush the pride of the living entity. Okay. And immediately such souls will be put under the shelter of Maya. And so this Maya, and there's another point here is, and all these so many asuras, demons that Krishna has killed, or Lord Balram has killed, they were all representing so many anarthas that we have in us. So those anarthas are in the form of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Right? And these anarthas, Srila Prabhupada says, so material existence means fighting against Maya, fighting against these anarthas. And these anarthas could only be overcome on the strength of Krishna. Just like Nalukuvera and Manigriva, they were helplessly waiting for Krishna's mercy. So once we are inundated or engrossed with this pride or sense enjoyment, we are put under this Maya. And Maya is again another strength, powerful strength of Krishna, and which is difficult to overcome unless we surrender to him. And only again the jivas not having, due to avidya, there's no way that they have any understanding about Krishna or how to get oneself released from this existence of this the immense strength of this clutches of this Maya. And Bhagavatam gives a very nice direction, guidance to these souls who are caught up in this material existence under the clutches of Maya. It says, Kale dosha nidhi rajan. So there are so many doshas, there are so many anarthas are there in us. But astir hyoko mahagunan. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya mukta sangha pravrajit. So just by chanting the name of the Lord's name, Nama Bala, on the strength of the name, one will be able to get relieved and be able to overcome this existence of this material world or Maya. But again, it is not possible on the strength, on its own strength, living conditions of jivas on its own strength, because we have no qualification, we have no understanding, we do not know how to overcome this. So the expert guide, the spiritual master only will be able to help us overcome this from the clutches of the Maya. And Guru is the Sakshat Haritrena. He's directly the representative of Krishna. He possesses, just like Krishna, and they possess immense strength and power. They also have that immense strength and power, which will use with their mercy, we will be able to overcome this the material existence. And
Hari. Hare Krishna. Amazing, Prabhuji, amazing ways you described about the strength and power of Krishna. And we would like to hear more from you, but we had a time of 10 minutes. So thanks a lot, Prabhu, for giving us this wonderful description about Krishna's strength. Thank you. Hari Hari.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah,
so I would request Manjulali Mataji to come up on, and then you can present the today's part in Vrindavan. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So yesterday we were at Keshi Ghat. Today we will visit the Vamshivat, Jagannath Mandir, Chaitanya Kutir, Chaitanya Baitak. We will go to Goredauji, Atalla Chungi, and back to our Krishna Balram ISKCON temple. So today we will be completing our Vrindavan Parikrama, which is the Panchakroshi Parikrama. And tomorrow we will be heading towards Mathura. So today we are going to talk about the most confidential pastime of the Lord, the Rasa Leela. Acharyas warn us against considering the Rasa Leela of the Lord with the gopis as any other mundane dance between men and women. All the fortunate gopis came to Vamshivat and the Rasa Leela began. These gopis are exalted sages who performed many austerities for many, many lifetimes to experience these loving exchanges with the Lord. The most perfect and pure of all manifestations of the Lord's pastimes is the Rasa Leela. It is so elevated in nature that only great souls like Shukadev Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Ramanand Rai, who have given up everything of this material world and place their hearts in the service of Krishna exclusively can truly understand the divine significance of Rasa Leela. Under the Vamshivat tree, many acharyas have offered their prayers and bhajans to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. This place is certainly beyond the farthest reaches of a conditioned soul's power of understanding and realizations. But if one offers sincere and humble prayers to Guru and Vaishnavas, petitioning them to carry those prayers through disciplic succession to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, then the Lord will be pleased and his mercy will descend. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. While walking on the Parikrama Marg, a devotee raises his hand and asks, is it compulsory to walk barefoot on the Parikrama Marg? A senior devotee explains that the holy Dham is an expansion of Lord Balaram. To walk on the Dhamma is to walk directly on Lord Balaram's body. However, while walking barefoot is ideal, footwear is also acceptable if, for some reason, the devotee is unable to remain without shoes. We would now read out the 10 offenses to the holy Dhamma that we should be careful about. The first one is to have contempt and or disrespect towards the Guru who reveals the holy Dhamma. The second one being to think the holy Dham to be temporary. The third one, to consider the residents or the visitors to the holy Dham ordinary people. The fourth, to perform mundane activities while living in the holy Dhama. The fifth one is to earn money by worshipping the holy deities or chanting the holy names. The sixth one being to think that the holy Dhama belongs to a mundane country or province, or to believe that the Lord's Dhama is equal to an ordinary holy place, or to make an attempt to assess the area of the holy Dhama. The seventh one is to commit sinful deeds in the holy Dhama. The next one, even more powerful, to consider Vrindavan and Navadvip different from one another. The ninth offense is to blaspheme the Shastras that glorify the holy Dhama. The 10th and the most important, to be faithless and consider the glories of the Dhama imaginary. Come, join us once again to this holy Dhama Yatra with the mood of the gopis, without carrying any offensive thoughts in our minds regarding the relationship of Krishna with the gopis. Today we have Samruddhi taking us to the last 4 places of Vrindavan before we exit Vrindavan and go to Mathura. Over to you, Samruddhi. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Samruddhi, you are.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we are continuing from the path where we have resumed yesterday. Turn and walk about 100 meters to Vajrapat. Krishna has a varieties of flute which he made in order to attract the minds and the hearts of devotees. Length and the number of holes present in the flute, it gets a different name like the Vamsi, Venu, Murali. Sanskrit means that it's a banyan tree. It's a celebrated banyan tree in Vrindavan, where Krishna plays the Vamsi or the flute under the banyan tree. The minds and the hearts of all the devotees and especially the Vrajagopi. The parikrama takes us towards it. Now, the Vamsivata is very special. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Krishna, along the gopis, performed the rasa dance on this place on the day of Sharad Purnima. Vamsi refers to the Lord's flute, which is caressed by his lotus finger and touched by his reddish lips, which is like the fresh cut bimba fruits. And the most exalted instrument is the Vamsi of the Lord. Conveys the sweet and the loving vibrations, the Lord's intense loving to be with his gopis. After doing everything, in a great agitation, after hearing the sound of the flute, the gopis come here to meet the Lord Krishna. Who can understand the gopis' love for Krishna? Inquires about gopis' welfare. In this way, Krishna tested many a times their love for him in various ways in this place. The original banyan tree that used to live here was long ago washed away by the flooding Yamuna rivers and waters. But one day, a Goswami rescued the branch and replanted it in the original place where the tree stood. And every year on the Sharad Purnima, devotees at our dear Lord Krishna Balaram Mandir prepares a sweet rice and set it out under the full moon for the Lord and his consorts. The Mahaprasad is distributed the following morning among the devotees. Let us take the beautiful darshan of Radha Vamsi Bihari Biharji and then return to the parikrama path. The parikramars entered the tall marble gateway of the Jagannath Mandir, where the deities of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadramai glance mercifully upon us. Most of these deities are of the Radha and Krishna. A little further ahead, we pass the Chaitanya Kutir and to Pani Ghati. In this place, the sadhus are served respectfully with full-hearted devotion. The parikrama path then takes a right turn and cool, shady area comes. And this is called as the Rajaghat. Here, Krishna disguised himself as the boatman and charged gopis a fare to take them across the Yamuna. When asked why Krishna was asking for Srimati Radharani's earring, which was too much, Krishna said, after all, Srimati Radharani is the daughter of Maharaj Vrishabhanu, a king, and that is why this place is called as the Rajaghat. Moving little ahead, there comes a big banyan tree, where earlier Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rested while touring the Vrindavan, and therefore this place got its name as Chaitanya Baitak. And there is also a beautiful, nice Jagannath temple here. Here, there is the deities of Jagannath along with the two Shaligram Shilas. This belonged to Murari Gupta. You may be thinking how Murari Gupta, living in Navadip, his deities in Vrindavan. One day, Murari Gupta have a strong desire to come to Vrindavan. From his worshipful Lord Jagannath permission to bring him along. And then he brought Lord Jagannath to the Vraja. He stayed few days in Vraja, and after some time Murari decided to return home. But Jagannath refused to leave. He said, "My dear Murari, this is my old home, and I wish to remain here." And the Parikrama party walks and passes the Ghor Dauji and crosses the Atal Chungi, from where we had already written to the Krishna Balaram Mandir. And here we complete our Vrindavan Parikrama, and tomorrow we shall see and start our Parikrama towards Mathura. Let thy God Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jai, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you for the sweet narration of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. And we are very, very inspired by Samruddhi's Kirtan. Just this week, we heard her sing the Damodar-ashtakam so sweetly. And it just cannot come out of any other mundane singer. She has that love for Krishna, which enables her to sing so well and sing with lots of love and emotions. And we are very thankful to her graceful parents, His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhuji and Madhumati Mataji, for raising her in such a glorious way. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari, very wonderful presentation by Samruddhi, and thanks Manjulali Mataji. It takes a lot to train, to compose the script and then make the PPTs and train the children, and it's a lot of work. It's 5 minutes of presentation, 10 minutes of presentation, but a day's work or even more. So thanks a lot for the entire team who are working so diligently and taking us to different wonderful Vrindavan spots, and taking this yatra. Hare Krishna. So now let's go to the next program, that is the singing of the Damodar-ashtakam. And we have, so now we heard from Samruddhi, and now we are going to hear from Samruddha. Right? So you are ready?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So you can start.
Yes, am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes.
Namamishwaram Satchitanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Namamishwaram Satchitanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Yashodabhiyolukaladavamanam Param Drishtamadyanta Dritya Gopya. Yashodabhiyolukaladavamanam Param Drishtamadyanta Dritya Gopya. Rudantam Mugurnetra Yugmam Rijantam Karambodayugmena Santakanetram. Rudantam Muhurnetra Yugmam Vijantam Karambodayugmena Santakanetram. Muhushvasakam Patrire Kanta Kanta Sitagraivam Damodaram Bhakibadam. Muhushvasakam Patrire Kanta Kanta Sitagraivam Damodaram Bhakibadam. Iti Dikshvalila Virananda Kunde Swagoshami Majanta Makya Payantam. Iti Dikshvalila Virananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajanta Makya Payantam. Tadiyeshitanishu Bhakti Jitatvam पुनः प्रेम संसतावृति वन्दे सतीशितान्येषु भक्तिर्जीवत्वम् पुनः प्रेम संसतावृति वन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वदिं वा न चान्यं प्रणेहं वरिषादपिहा वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वदिं वा न चान्यं प्रणेहं वरिषादपिहा इदं देव पूर्णात गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य वीराशक्ति मन्ये इदं देव पूर्णात गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्य वीराशक्ति मन्ये इदं ते मुखामोदमद्यन्तनीलय वृतं कुण्डलै स्निग्धगतश्च गोप्य इदं ते मुखाम्बुजमद्यन्तनीलय वृतं कुण्डले स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्य मुहुर्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनस्य विराष्ट्रमलं लसलाभे मुहुर्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तधरं मे मनस्य विराष्ट्रमलं लक्षलाभे नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभु दुःखजलातिमङ्गम् नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभु दुःखजलातिमङ्गम् कृपा दृष्टिदृष्ट्याति दिनं बतानु गृहाणे क्षमामज्ञं निर्यक्षि दृश्ये कृपा दृष्टिदृष्ट्याति दिनं बतानु गृहाणे क्षमामज्ञं निर्यक्षि दृश्ये कुबेरात्मजौ भक्तमूर्धय यत् कयामोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ भक्तमूर्धय यत् कयामोचितौ भक्तिभजौ कृतौ च तदा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयत नमो क्षेत्रभूमि श्रीदामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयत नमो क्षेत्रभूमि श्रीदामोदरेह नमस्ते सुदामे पुराब्धिपितामे तदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धामे नमस्ते सुदामे स्फुराब्धिपितामे त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धामे नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोदाभिलोकलाघवमानं परामृष्टमाद्यन्तगोप्य यशोदाभिलोकलाघवमानं परामृष्टमाद्यन्तगोप्य हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada
Hare Krishna. You can read the meanings now.
Hare Krishna. Translation. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, who is shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, and who was finally caught from behind by her, who ran after him with great speed to that Supreme Lord Shri Damodara. I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to cry. To that Supreme Lord Shri Damodara, whose belly is bound with the rope, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and relieving to those devotees who are absorbed in the knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence, that he is only conquered by devotees who pure love imbued with intimacy, and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikunta, nor by any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 process of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopal in Vrindavana may ever be manifest in my heart. For what use is to me of any other boons beside this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodara, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada, made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby, tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no other desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to my brilliant effulgent robe, which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to dear most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer my obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who display unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. So it's very, very wonderful to hear from Samruddha and her sister. What's your sister's name?
Shambhavi.
Shambhavi, yeah. So these two goods are very, very special. So they are homeschooled and they don't go to school. So they are trained by their parents very nicely. They study Srimad Bhagavatam. They're now learning Sanskrit and different shlokas and basic things, which are necessary for language and mathematics and things like that. So it's a very, very inspiring family, and their parents are so amazing. So they are training these kids in a very nice devotional way. So thanks to the parents and thanks to these two small kids who have performed so well today. So may all of you bless these kids that they flourish and grow nicely in their Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Karthik Manth Vrata ki jai. Hari Bol. Tomorrow again we will meet for another session of Karthik Vrata. Hari Bol.